How does the world's greatest footballer lose everything in a single afternoon? On July 12, 1998, Ronaldo Nazário, at just 21, collapsed in a Paris hotel room. Panic and confusion followed, and then came a decision that would haunt a nation. Minutes later, Brazil suffered a humiliating defeat. Headlines called it a national tragedy. But what really happened before that doomed final? And how did this crisis become the greatest redemption in football history? Around 3 in the afternoon, chaos erupted inside Brazil's hotel. Ronaldo, just 21 and at the peak of his powers, suddenly began convulsing on the bed. Roberto Carlos, his roommate, shouted for help as Ronaldo's body shook violently, foam collecting at his mouth. Edmundo rushed in, witnessing his teammate thrashing and unresponsive. Cesar Sampaio, thinking quickly, forced Ronaldo's jaw open to keep him from swallowing his tongue. The seizure lasted less than a minute, but in that short span, panic spread through the entire floor. Ronaldo drifted into a deep sleep, unaware of the terror he had caused. Team doctors hovered anxiously, debating whether to wake him or let him rest. Only after pressure from Leonardo did they break the news to Ronaldo. He woke subdued and confused, with no memory of what had happened. Within the hour, doctors hustled him to the Lilas clinic for urgent tests. Results came back clean. By late afternoon, the reigning World Player of the Year was cleared to play, but nothing about him felt the same. Brazil's official team sheet arrived at the Stade de France with Edmundo listed as striker. Ronaldo, the face of the team, was missing. Word spread in the press box, something was wrong. Just 40 minutes before kickoff, a second sheet appeared. Ronaldo was back in the lineup. Confusion rippled through the stadium. Coach Mario Zagallo faced the impossible: trust medical clearance and Ronaldo's own plea, or risk being blamed for leaving out the world's best player. He relented, but on the pitch, the magic was gone. Ronaldo touched the ball only 7 times in the first half, eyes vacant, legs heavy. France tore through Brazil's defence. Zidane scored twice before half-time. The final whistle brought a 3-0 defeat that stunned a nation. Headlines the next morning screamed of betrayal, collapse and heartbreak. Brazil's golden boy, expected to be a hero, became the centre of a national inquest. Ronaldo's body, once the envy of every defender in Europe, turned on him in cruel fashion. In November 1999, playing for Inter Milan against Lecce, he collapsed, clutching his right knee. The diagnosis was brutal: a ruptured patella tendon. Surgeons in Paris worked through the night to repair the damage, but the prognosis was grim. Months of recovery followed, every day a battle just to walk without pain. By February 2000, he attempted a comeback. 13 minutes into his return, his knee buckled again. Another operation. This time, the world watched with less hope. Over the next 2 years, Ronaldo endured at least 3 major surgeries and endless hours in rehab clinics. Specialists debated whether he would ever sprint again, let alone play at the highest level. Each setback chipped away at his strength, leaving scars far deeper than stitches or surgical marks. The football world moved on, but Ronaldo was left fighting a silent war against his own body. Long stretches of rehab passed in near silence. Ronaldo's world shrank to hospital rooms, therapy bans, and the slow counting of days. Roberto Assis remembers the lowest points, his brother staring at the ceiling and asking if he'd ever run again. Months on crutches blurred together, each step a reminder of what had been lost. Outside, the headlines grew colder. Italian and Brazilian papers ran stories declaring his career finished. Sports talk shows debated whether he would ever return, while new names, Rivaldo and Ronaldinho, began to capture the spotlight that once belonged to him. The noise faded, replaced by a quiet that felt like exile. But inside rehab clinics in Paris and Milan, Ronaldo kept working. Each milestone, a pain-free bend of the knee or a short jog, went unnoticed by the world. Doctors tracked progress in centimeters and degrees. Assis saw the resolve harden. The world moved on, but Ronaldo refused to let go of the game that had once made him a legend. Luis Felipe Scolari faced a decision that could define his legacy. Brazil's medical team had cleared Ronaldo, but only after weeks of uncertainty. The forward had played just a handful of minutes in friendlies, his knee still wrapped in doubt. In training camps across China and Spain, Scolari watched every sprint, every shot, searching for signs of the old brilliance. The press called it a risk, and pundits questioned whether a player with so many scars could carry the weight of a nation's hope. But Scolari wrote Ronaldo's name on the squad list. He saw not just a survivor, but a match winner. The gamble was set. Ronaldo would lead Brazil's attack in Japan and South Korea, a fragile icon thrust back into the world's spotlight. 67 minutes in, Ronaldo pounced on a loose ball and slotted it past Oliver Kahn, breaking the deadlock. 12 minutes later, he struck again, burying the rebound after Kahn's desperate save. Kahn stood motionless and later admitted that he had lost to the best player in the world. Ronaldo's redemption was complete. He finished with 8 goals, the Golden Boot, and the world's respect restored. Today, every comeback on the pitch echoes R9's legacy. It is proof that greatness is not about talent, but about resilience. What is your definition of greatness?